This is my E39 540i. Last time we got this through an MOT, however, it's smoking quite badly.
So today we're going to find out how much it'll cost to make it mechanically sound.
Let's get to it. Cheers for that.
You can also tell the calibre of a good car by the fact that you've got some of this in the boot. That would be fine if it was just the one, but there's another two in there.
See, usually with big V8s, you worry about the MPG for fuel. This is the MPG for oil. It's not great.
Oh yeah, no, she sounds mint.
I mean, it sounds good.
Yeah, if you happen to be Beethoven or something like that. Right, this is Ritchie. Ritchie's the owner of Cragos. Hello, mate. Good to meet you. Right.
What have you got for us? This cheapest 540, bonnet's a different colour to the wing, that's always a good sign. Might call it a 10-foot car.
That's a 10-foot car with glasses on and £20 notes behind the glasses, isn't it?
Yeah.
So basically the story of this car goes that, you know Taylor Hetherington, he was selling the car, I saw it on his story, and I bought a car of him before, so I said, look, I think I know someone who'll have this. And I messaged Lewis, and because he's got the emotional intelligence of a 9-year-old, he was like, I'm having that. So we went up the following day and picked it up. And yeah, we drove it home and it was fine, wasn't it?
Other than the gearbox, it didn't smoke at all. And then it just sat on my driveway for a couple of months because Tom decided to bugger off on holiday. And then we came to film the episode with it and it smoked like the clappers. Like a dream.
Oh my God.
Oh, Jesus. Oh. That's obviously the biggest issue I've noticed, but there's also a lovely vibration coming from the gearbox area once you put it into gear.
Right, so yeah, we're going to get it on the ramp, have a proper thorough look over it and find out kind of what it's going to take to get this car up to a decent mechanical level, aren't we?
But as Ritchie brought the E39 towards the ramp, things already began to take a turn for the worse.
Oh, well, it's a good start, isn't it?
What's that?
Well, I struggled to get it in the drive.
Oh, it has to go over to the left a bit.
We've got the engine light flashing at us right now.
Oh!
That's a new one.
That wasn't doing that.
If it's flashing, that normally means a misfire, which it is misfire.
Horrifically.
Yeah.
You've absolutely ruined your bumper, by the
Yeah,
way.
well, it's all right. That's being swapped out for an M-Sport one, isn't it?
Horrible exhaust mod that you've done.
Yeah, but it sounds good. And it will look good once it's got an M-Sport bumper
Yeah, I
on
know,
it.
but it doesn't now, and now you've got to try and sell that bumper.
Oh, don't worry, it's worth nothing, is
This
it,
is,
really? That can go in the skip.
I would love to be inside Lewis's head, honestly. It must be so nice having absolutely no thoughts sometimes.
Just monkeys clapping. So what are the things we're looking out for?
Well, like I just said, timing chains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They love an oil leak. Rocker cover gaskets, as you know. And aside from that, I mean, yours is making sort of a bit of a nasty ticking noise. That's not really typical. I'll be honest, even this kind of oil smoke isn't typical of these.
Right. So we're letting the engine idle now. What are we doing that for?
Well, we want to test this smoking to see whether it's valve stem seals or not.
Yeah.
When you leave it to idle warm like this, the oil will kind of, if it is valve stem seals, it kind of run down the exhaust valves and kind of collect in the ports there. Then when we kind of give it a boot full, you see a big cloud of smoke out the back. You've only really got about 3 ways that a naturally aspirated engine burns oil. So piston rings, valve stem seals, or the breather system.
So hopefully it's the breather system and that's an easy day.
Yeah, well,
I have doubts.
I have doubts as well.
Righto, let's give it a riff.
Yeah.
See how much it's going to hit you in the wallet. Brace for impact.
Quite a lot of shit came out. It does sound good though.
It sounds great. It's just turned into the Batmobile.
It sounds fantastic. That's, oh.
I'm glad it's a well-ventilated workshop.
yeah, I might open that back door.
Yeah. Oh, look at all that that's come out the back of it.
That shouldn't have done that.
No.
I think we know the answer though. Valve stem seals is labour intensive, but it's not actually that bad of a job, is it?
You can do it in situ with the head still on,
Okay.
but it's not easy.
Pleasant, yeah.
And there's lots. I'm sure on this there's like 30 odd on this engine. So there's lots of them to change, and it's fiddly. Shouldn't have bought this car, Tom.
Don't say that. Once it's fixed.
Oh yeah.
This is the man who the other day was saying, oh, I think I might sell the 540. I'm not really sure about it. He got in it yesterday and was like, I'm never selling this car.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sell it.
No.
You change your mind like your underwear, honestly. Never done anything like it.
Yeah. This is going to cost many thousands. Are you rubbing your hands together yet, or?
What do we look into first? Should we look into this misfire first?
Probably be a good start, I'd say.
Let's have a look and see what we're dealing with.
Let's read the full code and we'll go from there.
It's going to be like that that Simpsons, you know, the lie detector thing. He's plugged into the lie detector and he says, oh, do you know how this lie detector works? He's like, yes, and then the machine blows up. It's going to be like that with that thing, isn't it?
So in the engine, we've got a fault for your thermostat, which is pretty common. You see that a lot. When that fails, it just kind of reverts and runs like a normal thermostat anyway. Probably just wouldn't quite warm up as well as it would have done before. It just means the ECU hasn't got as much control over it as it would. But we've got a fault for camshaft position sensor bank 2.
Could that be misfire?
Generally not. It gives you sort of slow, like long cranking, a little bit of lack of power. But again, you've done a lot of work there. It could be there from what you've done. We'll see whether that's present or not.
That's quite possible.
And we've got a misfire cylinder 1, which explains why we had the flashing light today.
Which one's cylinder 1?
Be the driver's side.
At the very front?
So when you're...
I know exactly what that is. I snapped one of the bolts that holds the coils in, so it's not held in very well. So that's probably popped off a bit, hasn't it?
Right.
So do you think that misfire could be down to us with that snap bolt on the coil and that coil not sitting properly?
We'll have a look. See what we can. I mean, it's quite basic. Yeah, a coil not bolted down properly, you know, not making good contact on the spark plug, it's going to misfire. Sure.
Yeah.
That's pretty obvious.
After this, Ritchie lifted up the E39 and started to take a look over to find any other issues. And safe to say, there were far more than we expected.
Why are you outing me like this?
Seen what he has done to the bumper as a result of this bodge on the exhaust. You absolute animal, man. This bumper might be worth something one day. Where did you get
That's just, I told you, it didn't fit, did it? So I had to sleeve it, and I wanted it on because it sounds good.
Did you do it with your eyes closed? Or
Yeah.
something? Looking at it with that light, you can see the dents on the door now and stuff like that as well. Like.
Door's all a bit rotten at the bottom there.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh
how it
yeah,
goes,
look
isn't
at
it?
that.
It's been painted here because you can see the little bit of paint missing. It's actually found its way onto the door.
This is where things get a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah,
Looking
now
underneath it.
it starts looking worse, doesn't it? Oh dear.
That's a good start.
When the professional goes,
I thought you fixed the oil links. You might notice here, you've got 2 different colours of oil. That's your engine oil.
Yeah.
That's gearbox oil.
That is gearbox. That's the fresh stuff I put in it as well.
The dirt's stuck to it
It's-
over the years.
Sorry.
I've made a mess on your floor.
Yeah,
I do
it's only
apologise.
been in here 5 minutes.
Clean that floor. If you're leaking gearbox oil out of the bell housing out of this end of the gearbox, that's pretty much gearbox has got to come out.
So it has to have a manual gearbox put in it.
Personally, I think I would as well.
Yeah.
These cats, as you're saying, they are way too small for this car.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Believe it or not, they'll make the smoking look worse.
Would they?
Yeah, when you got the proper cats in there, they act like a sponge. They soak up a lot of the oil, and then it's kind of released sort of more gradually. Again, assuming, you're talking about a vibration. So as soon as you put that into drive or reverse,
it's gonna
you're
vibrate
going
its tits off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't these usually have a much bigger Y section?
Yeah,
here?
it would be a proper wire piece rather
Yeah.
than I've never quite seen that before.
No.
Two silencers with separate pipe like that.
So what's your thoughts then? What? Terrible? Good? Okay? Put it in the bin?
I think it's okay for what you paid for it. Yeah, if I'd paid top money for it, I wouldn't be sort of too impressed. But it's a lot of car for the money still, isn't it?
So do you think it's a car that's worth putting the money into to get it right?
You can answer that, can't you? I mean, once you've done a manual swap on it,
Yeah.
it becomes a lot more desirable then, doesn't it?
So what we're doing right now is we're trying to determine the cause of the misfire. And,
hopefully it might just be something really obvious, like the coil not on there correctly.
Yeah, so this goes back, by the way, to when Lewis did it originally and he snapped a bolt.
You was involved just as much as I was.
Was the ratchet in my hand or your hand? I rest my case, Your Honour.
I found evidence of us being here before.
Did you?
I found the old rocker cover gasket. It's still in it.
Yeah, I'm going to take a couple of plugs out now. So we are going to get smoke regardless when we start it up because there's oil down the bottom of the spark plug hole. So when I take the plug out, that oil's going to go into the cylinder.
Cylinder 1's the one we thought was bad, though, didn't we?
Well, cylinder 1 is the one that's now misfiring.
Yeah.
Means if that's the cylinder that's been burning the oil,
Yeah.
because something's not right in there, and where it's not getting a clean burn, it's caking the plug up to the point it's now can't fire at all.
Yeah.
Hence misfire.
Yeah.
So again, the oil is just come from what was sitting in there from where you'd done the rocker cover gaskets. The tip of the spark plug, although it's a bit black, so it's been running a bit rich, but it's a lot better than number 1 that we took out.
Do you have a like an emotional support room? available?
It was at this point it became clear that the misfiring and oil leaks resulted to an issue with the valves. So Ritchie brought out all his tools and expertise to get to the bottom of the issue.
Oh, this is the scary stuff.
You can see here the cylinder wall around there, and this is the top face of the piston. Is a chunk of valve missing. But yeah, you shouldn't have all of that wet gunk on the valves like that. It shouldn't look like that. This surface here is meant to make a seal with the valve seat. That looks pretty nasty. So if it's blowing past the valves, it's not making good seal, you won't have good compression. I think we need to do a compression check.
That might be enough. Oh, God.
Oh dear.
Today's a bad day.
Today's
You must
a
have been a
bad
right
day
twat
for
in a
me.
previous life, honestly. You're
Oh,
luck.
mate,
If you fell into
honestly.
a barrel of tits, you'd come out sucking your thumb.
Yeah. Oh. So you know that conversation we had yesterday, Tom, about, oh, it won't be that bad. I'm sure it can't be that bad. It won't be bottom end. It won't be catastrophic.
Tough one.
Bugger.
So if the compression is low on one of the cylinders, say over the other, what does that give you an indication as to what it points towards?
Engine rebuild. Let's cut the bullshit.
Yeah, that one's like 2 bar lower than the rest, then the head's coming off it.
Right.
Oh no.
I'm really not.
Yeah, I know you are. You're enjoying every moment of this. Don't pretend that you're not.
Now it was time for the compression test, which would ultimately determine just how much of a hit these repairs were going to take on my wallet.
What do you predict is about to happen?
Engine very bad. If we have soddle compression on one or more of the cylinders, then
Oh.
I'm going to go cry in a dark corner somewhere.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, that's
Oh,
the
no.
oil there.
That's a lot of oil.
oh
That's,
no. Oh no.
That's not good.
Oh Jesus.
That's a lot of oil that was not.
That shouldn't be there.
No, that shouldn't.
Oh no,
So
I know where that's all
oil.
coming from.
Go on. Oh shit, yeah.
I
you've
forgot, I
missed
snapped that.
a whole bolt missing,
Yeah,
which means the seal was missing.
yeah. So it's all pissing up through there, isn't it?
Oh, see, that was the first time. You didn't fix that the second time, though.
No, I forgot.
Sorry?
So last time, you may remember, about 2 minutes before the MOT, I snapped that bolt and I bodged it with Insta-gasket, and when I redone the covers, I forgot to rebodge it or actually fix it. And yeah, there's no seal on that, so oil is just pissing everywhere.
No.
Bit of sealant, and that'll be right as rain. That's a problem for another day.
This is the man who's going to have to take this apart anyway to put the proper gaskets in that you didn't have in the first place, and now he's saying let's bodge it with a bit of sealant.
Yep.
As I say, generally spark plugs will generally be a bit drier than that. It's just running quite rich, or there's oil getting in there.
And now the spark plugs have been removed, we get a chance to see just how much oil is sat in the cylinders.
Do I look? Do I not look?
I wouldn't stand in.
Yeah, don't stand in the
sight
vicinity of
yeah,
that.
in case that might spit a load of oil out.
I kind of want to see, but I kind of don't want to see. Wow. That's made a mess. It's killing me, this is. The anticipation.
11.75. So that's
Yeah,
okay.
it's not.
It's not horrendous, is it?
No, it's not.
So we want between 10 and 16.5 bar.
Yeah,
But
so
you
we're
want it to
measuring
be-
like 11.5, 11.75.
Yeah. So you want it to be
One
nice
was
and
just over
consistent,
12.
basically.
Yeah.
The amount of oil.
Has it gone everywhere?
Look at the state of the. I thought that was the floor at first. It's not. It's the oil.
Oh, me.
Jeez.
Difference that oil has made is we're nearly 14 bar.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So if you didn't know what was making it go high, you'd go, well, these ones are much higher than those ones.
Yeah.
So look, obviously, this is your first bank. This is your second bank. The readings on this are going to be different because of the oil. So these ones are going to be higher. But as long as they're consistent, which 14, 13 and a half so far, that's consistent enough, which is good.
Okay, 13 again.
That's good.
I mean, that's good, but
That
it
is
still,
good.
still doesn't really tell us what's wrong with it.
So the good news is it's consistent across each bank, right? Isn't it?
It is overall our lowest one though, isn't it? We don't have a broken valve, put it that way.
Process of elimination. That's good news.
Yeah, I'll take that.
That's the first bit of positive news you've had all day.
Best case scenario with your oil consumption is valve stem seals,
I was
which
just about to
is a
ask
major
that.
job anyway.
Yeah.
You could do valve stem seals with the heads on. You need to buy some tooling for that. But with the state of those valves, there's no point.
You might as well just take the heads off and then
You
you
might as well take the heads off, pull the valves out, put some fresh valves in there. I wouldn't want to reuse them, even cleaning them up.
After this, Ritchie went away to calculate a final estimate based on the labour and parts prices to get our E39 fixed up again. Let's find out just how much Lewis would need to pay to go ahead with it. And to be honest, it doesn't look like it's going to be cheap.
Yeah, this is bad day.
Let's find out just how bad.
Right.
What we got?
Go on.
Okay, right. So have a little look around it. The main big problems with it is the engine.
Yeah.
So obviously we've done the compression test. The compressions all seem okay, but it doesn't mean that engine's very healthy. We had the camera down, that bore in cylinder 1, those valves look really bad, really kind of gunked up. There's oil running down the cylinder walls. That's coming from the valve stem seals. So it needs major surgery. It needs the valve stems doing, it needs the valves at least cleaning up, maybe replacing. So you're talking heads off.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Exactly.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
At which point you're going to be talking, okay, well, the heads are off, let's do timing chain, so it will escalate a little bit. The other main problem is your gearbox. You say you've had gearbox warning light coming on, haven't you?
Yep.
You've done a gearbox oil change on it, it's not made a lot of difference, but then we found it is leaking out the front of the box. So it's leaking gearbox oil from the front of the bell housing, which normally means that if you were lucky, it's just a seal, but normally when these are leaking like that, it's because something's not running true anymore. We've got that right hash up of an exhaust on there, haven't we?
Don't know who done that.
Stevie
Yeah,
Wonder, Ray
Stevie
Charles,
Wonder, yeah.
someone, it must have been.
No idea who done
Yeah.
that. Sounds good though.
Again, I mean, you could have a nice exhaust made up for that. Leave the pre-cats on there, lose the middle ones. It will sound brilliant. Might stay on the car because I'm not
Yeah.
sure how long that's going to stay on. But either that or the bumper's going to catch fire. So
It's probably best for this car at the minute.
What's it worth on the insurance?
It's a light bulb moment.
Yeah.
Good idea that is. That's my ticket out.
yeah, and a few other odds and sods. It needs a radiator, heater resistor, like we talked about before.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's lots of bits and bobs. I mean, we're not worrying too much about the body work. We're talking about getting it mechanically sound, aren't
Yeah,
we?
yeah.
But there were a lot of positives. The suspension was all good. There's no play in anything. There's no leaking shocks or anything like that. And
No rust
car-
under the front because there's so much oil everywhere.
That's right, yeah, it's rust protected. It's had work done. It's had repairs, had a power steering pump in the past, things like that. So somebody has shown the car some love.
Yeah.
Come on then.
I guess you want to know numbers.
We got to know.
I think if you were to pay a garage to do this, so to take the heads off, change the valves themselves, put some new valves in there, rebuild it, timing chain. So bear in mind, there's only a top end. That's not a full engine rebuild. That and a manual swap. I mean, for the engine, I'd say sort of 3.5. With the manual swap, you know yourself, you're looking at about £3,000 just in parts alone. But of course, you're already there with the labour.
Yeah.
And then what the other odds and sods, you know, you're probably looking sort of £8,000, maybe.
Okay, right. So, fine.
With an exhaust as well, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. So it's that never-ending list, isn't it?
it is,
it's
but it's kind of like if the engine's no good, the car's no good, isn't it?
That's if we were to rebuild the engine. What if you found like a second-hand engine? Because you can get these quite common, can't you?
Yeah, that you can, and they're generally pretty good. I think what you've suffered here is quite unusual.
Of course it's me. Of course I'm the one to get the bad.
I don't remember calling out valve stem seals on one of these before. Second-hand engine. You can pick them up relatively cheap.
What, 500 quid, a grand, something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, you can. 'Cause
Okay, so what would that bring it down to? What, 4.5, 5 grand?
if you were to do the work yourself, yeah, 500 a grand on an engine plus some new timing chain, a few gaskets for it, all your bits for your manual swap. If you had access to a workshop and a ramp, you could do it yourself. You could get this down to about 4.5 grand, I'd say.
Yeah. That's a tough day, mate.
That's
day.
a bad day for me.
Righto, there we go. Thank you so much to Ritchie and to Craigo today. Really appreciate their help on diagnosing what's wrong with your car. Are you off to the pub or?
Yeah, I mean, if you enjoyed seeing me get me absolutely financially ruined today, don't forget to like and subscribe so we can get some pennies to put a new engine in it. See you later.
See you next time.